The LIV Golf vs PGA Tour feud only seems to be getting worse, as if the two circuits weren't already beefing with each other from a safe distance. They recently faced each other on the DP World Tour. Yep, Lee Westwood and Ian Poulter played at the BMW PGA Championship. And fear not, we're going to catch you up with all the gossip. Most of it came from Lee's press conference. First off, how were they playing this event? So whatever happened to the LIV defectors being banned? What was that all about? Well, there were some technicalities involved, and it turns out that before the grand hearing that'll take place in February next year, the LIV golfers can compete in the DP World Tour. So yeah, since the BMW Championship is a DP Tour event, a lot of the Rebel League players are showing up. The big names that teed it up this week were Westwood and Poulter. Both of them joined Greg Norman's league earlier this year, and they seem to be having a good time. They all do, to be fair. There's just that something about them millions, isn't there? But of course, before the BMW Championship, we hadn't seen the players from opposing sides play like this together. Just imagine Rory McIlroy, the torchbearer of PGA, and the likes of Lee and Ian, the deserters on the very same golf course. The yin and yang collide with full force. The good news is that basic civility was observed. Nobody got smacked with a golf club. Nobody got hurt. But how was the experience? It was a big deal after all. How was the atmosphere? Well, thanks to Westwood's press conference, we know a little something about that. It's his point of view though, so keep that salt shaker right next to you. Now, here's how Westwood described the atmosphere. Alright, so the 49-year-old found the fans' reaction very welcoming and exciting. That's the good news, of course. But see, this is where that salt we mentioned comes in, because some accounts from the event say otherwise. It was reported that when Ian Poulter showed up, some spectators booed the hell out of him. By principle, Westwood too might have had some booing to deal with. They're in the same boat after all, same luxury cruise more like. But apparently he found fans cheering for him and being positive about the LIV players being there. Good for him. That there was a degree of somberness in the atmosphere too. This was of course because of the passing of the Queen of England. So yeah, no wonder Wentworth was also feeling it. Going through the loss of a monarch is a big deal for the British people. Westwood understands this, and this is why he said all the players did their best to display some good, entertaining golf for the fans. All in all, the English pro said that he feels like the media's trying to make a big deal out of the rivalry between the two tours. The fans, on the other hand, just want to see good golf, and they don't seem to care too much about who's playing it and where. As much as we'd like to believe what he said, it isn't exactly true. Not for the LIV events anyway. Or maybe it's more serious when it comes to American audiences. Maybe the Brits are a little more okay with it. You know what, let's not judge the English reaction just yet. They're grieving. Moving on, he also shared his views on the trial. Okay, we're being a little generous to him saying he shared his views because in truth, he was trying his best not to share anything. But the reporters did their jobs, they insisted on the matter, and so we got something better. Awkward, passive-aggressive responses. So, there have been teeny tiny legal advancements so far, but the grand finale will take place in the coming February, where the court will decide whether or not the LIV converts can still play at the DP Tour in the future. And right now, everybody's talking about it. When a reporter asked Westwood about his thoughts on the trial and how he thinks this will end, this is what he said. "Do I look like a lawyer?" Needless to say, he wasn't too happy about the question, but you'd be underestimating golf reporters if you thought it ended right there. They went ahead and asked him if he'd at least had any conversations with people about this. To this, he also gave a mixed answer, saying that he doesn't really know anything and everyone is suggesting different things right now. One of these suggestions was a recent one made by Graham McDowell. He said that instead of a trial, all the players should send emails and give their votes to decide whether or not they'd like to play alongside the livers. Yeah, you guessed it, the journalist asked Westwood about this too. His reply? He says we don't live in a fantasy world. Sure, none of the players or the staff were hostile towards the LIV golfers, but that doesn't mean they want them there. He says this matter should be resolved in whatever is the fairest way. Coming up is Poulter and Westwood's interesting choice of apparel. How can we talk about the Wentworth event and leave out the juiciest part? So ahead of this event, the DP Tour Commissioner Keith Pelley had sent out memos to the LIV players. He asked them to show respect to the tour's broadcasters and sponsors, and not wear LIV branded apparel to the Wentworth event. Guess what Poulter and Westwood did? They wore LIV branded apparel to the Wentworth event. Remember, this was only a request by the commissioner, not a requirement, so of course, there was nothing that could be done about this. The two players rocked their Majestic shirts at the BMW Championship. Ian said he doesn't care what people think about him wearing that shirt. He said he owns a part of the business brand on the shirt, and so he should be allowed to wear it. Also, Ian's account seems to be a bit different than Lee's when it comes to the behavior of the other side. He said he received many petty remarks from people. He also noticed the booing from the fans. We should also mention the other part of the memo sent by the commissioner that also asked these players not to parrot LIV talking points. Jeez. Oh, Graham McDowell, you sweet summer child. You know what? Maybe save that voting idea for some other time. It seems like your side has got more of a chance in the courtroom. And finally, Westwood's plans for the future. At the same conference, Lee Westwood was also asked about what he plans to do before the February trial. He says he isn't quite sure about whether he'll play all the upcoming LIV events, but that he's in good form right now and will play as he desires. He's also not sure about other DP Tour events taking place before February, but he said he likes the fact that he has so many choices right now. Enjoy them while you can, champ. Like it's too soon to say something just yet, but come on, we've seen this before. The court only recently gave a verdict in favor of the PGA Tour. The outlines of this coming trial are the same as that one. Is it a leap to suggest that the LIV will lose the trial again? Maybe, maybe not. But seeing how eager the LIV opposers are to take things to court, looking at you, McIlroy, they're probably sure of their victory. There you go. The future of Westwood and others like him will be decided in February, and before that happens, they'll be playing their game. Chances are, their allegiance to the Saudi-backed league will cost them their opportunities to play real authentic golf. But hey, they could also realize that maybe the real golf was all the cash they made along the way. Now, in other news, it's time for some other news from the golfing world. First, Cam Smith is on the other side. Cam Smith, the world's #2 ranked golfer, finally made his LIV Golf debut in Boston recently. His addition to Greg Norman's ranks was being speculated for quite some time now. He finished 4th at the event and pocketed a sum of $1.5 million for it. That's around the same amount the winner got for the most recent PGA event. Smith's defection to LIV Golf is definitely bad news for the PGA Tour. Next up, Rory McIlroy wants to take it to court. Rory McIlroy also spoke about the voting suggestion made by LIV player Graham McDowell. He thinks this case should go to court. According to him, things have gone to the point that now going by the rulebook is the only option. He says if the LIV defectors want to stay, they must abide by the rules, and he trusts the court to decide whether they're breaking any regulations. Lastly, Greg Norman and world rankings. So, the OWGR is in no mood to give ranking points to the LIV golfers. Norman has been trying to change this, but so far it hasn't happened. But the thing is that Norman thinks it's a bigger loss for the OWGR than it is for his players. He recently said that if they don't give these world-class players the rankings they deserve, they'll become obsolete and a laughingstock. That's a wrap for this video. Do you think a LIV and PGA Tour merger is on the horizon? And would you even like for that to happen? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.